Our propositions for the affirmative side, we are going to speak about flat tax, and my associate and I believe that the United States should reform the federal income tax to be a flat tax of 17% to benefit both the working American and the economy. All right, first off, let me say that because there have been a variety of flat tax proposals in the past, we have decided to base our proposal off the Dick Armey flat tax plan so as to prevent any ambiguities in the points and evidence presented. Let me give you some background on this flat tax. Labeled the Freedom and Fairness Restoration Act, the bill was originally introduced by Congressman Dick Armey in 1994, reintroduced in 1995, revised again, and then finally reintroduced again in 2001. Dick Armey's widely popular proposal has laid the foundation for many flat tax proposals proposed after 2001, all of which hold the same principles as Dick Armey's bill. The bill calls for a simple tax code, a flat tax of 17% on the taxable income of all individuals. Other than the deductions provided by the proposal, the plan will scrap all current deductions, credits, exclusions, exemptions, as well as the 5 current tax brackets. Because the 17 rate is phased in, meaning it will initially start at 20% and then fall to 17% after 3 years, the current government deficit will not rise as a result of the implementation of the flat tax. Under the flat tax system, the only deductions that will take place will be as follows. Married couples filing jointly will get a deduction of $24,600. A single head of household will get $15,700. A person that is single will get $12,300 off their tax bill, and an additional $5,300 per dependent child. There are 3 points that we believe are crucial to the significance of this proposition. First of all, a flat tax system is much simpler than the current tax system. 2, imposing a flat tax will be fair. And 3, imposing a flat tax of 17% will stimulate and boost economic performance. Let me go back to the first point. A flat tax system is much simpler than the current tax system. Because the flat tax system will scrap all current deductions, credits, exclusions, and exemptions, excluding the single deduction provided by the plan, much of the paperwork involved in the current tax system will not be needed and therefore will not be included in the flat tax system. Calculating how much you owe will be easy, simple, and fast. According to a report written by Arthur P. Hall, a senior economist of the Tax Foundation, the implementation of the flat tax system could reduce the tax-related burden for the average taxpayer by an estimated 13.5% and increase federal tax revenues by almost $5 billion. The reduced burden comes from the taxpayers' savings that could result from reducing the high paperwork costs associated with the income tax. In contrast, in regards to the current tax system, according to an article released by The Economist, it takes the average American taxpayer 27.4 hours to file his taxes. In 2003, the IRS issued a report to Congress that states that in 2002, 10.22% of all tax return filings contained math errors, and 1.15 were underreported. That has to say something about the current tax system. It might be a little bit too complex for people. According to the Heritage Foundation, complexity is a hidden tax amounting more than $100 billion. $100 billion. This is a cost of tax preparation, lawyers, accountants, and other revenues or other resources used to comply with the Internal Revenue Code. The Internal Revenue Service even admits that the current tax code requires taxpayers to devote 6.6 billion hours each year to their tax returns. Yet, even this commitment of time is no guarantee of accuracy. The code is so complex that even tax experts and the IRS often make mistakes. Unlike the current tax system, the flat tax system will be so simple that all taxpayers could fill out their returns on a postcard, because all it requires is your general information, meaning your name, your social security, address, etc., information on your wage, and a few calculations to determine how much you have to pay, which is minus 17% off of your taxable income. Second point, imposing a flat tax will be fair. According to Dick Armey, under the flat tax, everyone plays under the same rules, and because of the high family allowances, the flat tax system is also, in a sense, progressive. This means that even as the richer you become, you will still pay more anyway. For instance, a single person making $100,000 after personal deductions, $12,300 for being single, that's the single deduction that you get, will have a taxable income of $87,700. The amount owed in taxes is 17% of that, which is only $14,909. However, if that single person was making $200,000, he would have to pay $31,909 in taxes. So the more you get, the more rich you are, the more you have to pay anyway, which is almost, in a sense, the same as the progressive tax. The poor and middle-class families will not be hurt from this. In fact, they'll benefit from the flat tax system, particularly because of the generous deductions that are in place. Because everybody plays under the same rules, no loopholes, exclusions, deductions, exemptions, and credits. Aside from the personal deduction, having a flat tax system will encourage compliance, which means more people will pay their taxes instead of simply avoiding or evading them. In an article in The Economist, it states that under systems such as America's, or those operating in Western Europe, the incentives for the rich to avoid taxes, legally or otherwise, are enormous, and the opportunities to do so, which arise from the very complexity of the codes, are commensurately large. And that leads me to my last point, 3. Imposing a flat tax system, a simple flat tax of 17% will stimulate and boost economic performance. Flat tax system will begin with gains from pure efficiency. According to Richard S. Richmond from CNN Money, the sheer simplicity of the flat tax would cut way down on the extravagant effort Americans now make to comply with the 8,101 page, which is now, in 2008, 14,761 pages of tax code and supplement. The Economist states in an article that the estimate cost of compliance, administration, enforcement is between 10 and 20% of revenue collected, which is equivalent to between 1/4 and 1/2 of the government's budget deficit. Since the majority of Americans will experience a tax cut under the flat tax system, they will have a higher disposable income, meaning they will have more to spend. This is especially important in a consumption-based economy and extremely crucial to economic growth. According to the NCPA...
I got to cut you off. You're 2 minutes over already.
Can we use time that...
I'm already taking away 2 minutes out of your prep time.
Can we use the 3 minutes? Because I'm almost done.
Okay. Finish, you know.
It's a policy. I mean, it's really complex, so I'm trying to get it down.
I don't mind staying late. Ask your classmates, though, how they feel about it.
I'll use the time that we have for that. According to the NCPA, because the flat tax system is pro-savings and pro-investment, it would add as much as 2 percentage points to the nation's economic growth rate. It states further that even if it is only increased by 1 percentage point, that it would add $2.3 trillion to the nation's output of goods and services in just over 6 years. And to sum it all up, I'll go back to my 3 points. A flat tax system is much simpler than the current tax system. 2, imposing a flat tax system is fair. And 3, imposing a simple flat tax of 17% will stimulate and boost economic performance. Thank you.